I want to thank the gentleman from South Carolina and glad to associate myself with his opening remarks and those of the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Larson. And let me say that we were fortunate this past weekend at our Issues Conference to have the President of the United States address us. And he said, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, "Look what I've inherited." And I think, Mr. Chairman, as you have done throughout your stellar career here in the Congress, you've outlined from a budgetary perspective the god-awful mess that Obama has inherited. In fact, this is a cavernous hole that he finds himself in, as does our nation. And Mr. Larson pointed out just exactly how deep a hole has been dug and what this problem means to every American, not only from the standpoint of our national debt, but clearly from the number of jobs that have been lost, from the number of people who have lost their homes, who have lost their health care. Now, you have done a great job as chairman of our committee, always bringing forward in detail. But you know, Harper's Magazine did an article just this past month called "The $10 Trillion Hangover," in which they specifically, almost not as succinctly as your charts and graphs have indicated, but spell out how we got to this point. And I think Americans all across this great country, as our new president struggles to deal with the hole that this previous administration has left us, want to know how we got here and how we make this steady, determined ascent out of this cavernous hole. But the daunting task before this president is laid out for the American public with the 3.6 million jobs lost, with the projected recession and growth, and what we've heard from every single economist that's come before us is the difficult and uncharted waters that we're in. And that doesn't count what we anticipate might happen with the other shoe, credit default swaps and derivatives, and where the bottom is on that. And yet, this president, with the help of this Congress and under the leadership of Nancy Pelosi, strives to make that move, that steady, determined ascent, by both providing economic investment and economic recovery, and as important, economic stability for all of our citizens. So I commend the gentleman for bringing forward what is at best a very bleak picture for America, but to be counterweighted by the determination of this Congress and members who have come here to the floor this evening to make sure that there is a steady ascent from the depths of this cavernous hole, dug in unprecedented fashion, where people were asleep at the switch, not watching what was going on, and running up unprecedented debt, where the wars, 2 wars unpaid for, a Medicare bill unpaid for, tax cuts unpaid for, all to come home to roost. But determined we are as a nation and as a Congress to make a steady and determined ascent out of this depths of this cavernous hole dug by this previous administration. I thank the gentleman and yield back to him.